So did we remain a confederation of states? Well, for a dozen years or so, it was a good idea. The individual colonies, now 13 states, maintained their own authority within the states, had limited central government, money, some treaties with foreign governments, modest military, but they felt there was a need for a stronger central government, and that brought up the debate between those that wanted to make a federal form of government and those that were opposed to any strong national government, and that is the debate of the Federalist and the Anti-Federalist. So what's the difference between a federal form of government and a confederation? Well, simply said, the federal form of government is a way of sharing the power between the national and the subnational level, and the confederation is one where all the power is on the subnational level, in this case the states. So why have a strong national level of government? The primary one is to regulate commerce between the states, to make some laws that the individual states would follow rather than leaving them to their own negotiations. Also the power of an army. When the United States felt threatened by invasion, not so much by Indians, but from another sovereign country from Europe, where they were afraid that both the United Kingdom could come back and try to retake the United States, or another country in Europe would come and send mercenary soldiers to try to take over the United States. So the states felt it was important to have some kind of stronger national government, as well as commerce was improving and the states were becoming more prosperous, so there was a need for a central bank and unified treaties with other countries to help both in trade as well as defense. So the federal form of government was part of the Constitution, where it's written how the power will be shared between the national level and the subnational. And the critical thing here is that the national level of government only has the powers from the states as enumerated in the Constitution, and specifically, if the power is not described in the Constitution the states maintain, they maintain the power. So although there is a supremacy clause in the Constitution that says the Constitution and treaties and any laws that the federal government makes are superior and the states must follow them, the states maintain if they have not given the federal government that power, then those powers still reside with the states. We see it today with issues of same-sex marriages. We see it with immigration laws. We see it with legalization of marijuana for medical use laws. So the states are trying to say, we want to control how we want to be governed in our states, and we're not accepting the fact that some national federal government in Washington is making these decisions for us. Even though federal government and the Constitution is supreme amongst all the states in the United States, the states still have power if they haven't given that authority to the federal government. So that's the critical difference of federal forms of government compared to confederations and unitary governments. Now there's another element, which is how the money flows. In fiscal federalism, it's the idea that the money comes into the federal government from all of the states, actually from all of the citizens in all of the states, in unequal percentages and unequal proportions. So states with more population or more commercial activity produce more money in taxes that goes to the federal government. And it's redistributed to the states not on the basis of where it came from, but generally through a process of negotiation in the Congress. Some might say on the basis of need, but the Congress is deciding how to divvy out the money that comes in from all the people in all the states. So fiscal federalism is the idea of giving power back to the states to spend the money as they would like to see, rather than all of the spending decisions made with our tax dollars being done in Washington. So fiscal federalism is giving money back to the states so that the local states decide how certain money will be spent. but Washington doesn't give all the money back. Washington still makes a lot of the decisions on how most of the money is spent, and the idea of giving the states power is this concept of fiscal federalism. Now, in fiscal federalism, we look at two other concepts. One is devolution, and the other is decentralization. They're related, but different. In devolution, we actually give the authority to another branch of government. So, if the federal government says the states will decide on same-sex marriages, as an example, then they have devolved that authority to the state. The state rules will carry. Decentralization is a different aspect, and that is it's not the power, it's the workload, it's the administration that's decentralized. Think in terms of a college campus where we have a main campus and satellite campus. Well, you can take classes in satellite campus, you can have faculty in the satellite locations, you can have administration in the satellite location, you can have libraries in other locations, but all the decisions are made in the main campus. The hiring decisions, the admissions decisions, the financial decisions are made at main campus. So in that case, it's not devolution, it's decentralization. The workload is sent away from the central branch to the outlying branches, compared to devolution, where authority and power is sent out to other branches. So I hope that clarifies and explains a little bit the fiscal federalism and devolution and decentralization concepts for you. And I'll make one more brief recording about another topic on a related issue.